All right. Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to Mr. Deadman. Here in this video, we're going to be listening to the guy. I don't know his name. That doesn't matter. It doesn't deserve to be recognized. But I do want to hear what he has to say. This is the guy who, let's just say, they blew up an IVF facility. I mean, what else? I mean, how am I supposed to candy coat that? Right? He has a 30-minute speech, which I'm sure it's going to be compelling, right? Absolutely right. Yeah, let's go and check this out. Let's go and check this out. Okay? Get comfy. It's 30 minutes long. And yeah, here we go.
Okay, so I figured I would just make a recording explaining why I've decided to bomb an IVF building or clinic.
Let me guess. You hate life. Like so much so that you just want to like boom and ruin everyone else's day too. Right? Anyway.
Basically, it just comes down to I'm angry that I exist, and that, nobody got my consent to bring me here, and I know what.
No one got your consent to bring you here. You weren't even born yet. That's impossible to do. What? You're asking for the impossible. What are you talking about? That's insane. That is so dumb. But that's a level of dumb that you can only get if you like overthink things. Like it is. There are people out there that think they're so smart, so smug, right? They huff their own farts on their own intelligence. You know what I'm talking about, right? They think they're so smart that they'll actually overthink themselves to be dumb. And this is one of those guys. This guy was a complete moron. This guy was probably a Destiny fan too. He probably was. I'm just throwing that out there.
You're going to say, how could we have got your consent because you didn't exist, blah, blah, blah. Exactly the point. There's no...
What do you mean exactly the point? You didn't even exist. Like, you were not even a thing yet. No one that has ever existed has ever asked for consent to exist. It's impossible to do. So you just want to throw it all away because you don't want to exist? I'm guessing this guy lives in the States, right? This guy doesn't live in some crap hole in in Afghanistan or some some crap hole village in Africa. He doesn't sound like he is one of those kids that's mining cobalt in a cobalt mine, right? He's not living in squalor in the Philippines. Okay, this dude sounds like he is American and has the luxury of going eating a Chipotle or whatever he wants, right? And this guy just wants to throw it all away because life is too hard for him. Because the mere fact of living, just existing, is too hard for him. Never mind the fact that there's people that are forced to work in factories and that in such horrible conditions that they have nets outside the building to stop them if they try to leap out the window. "26 seconds in. And already, it's like, I'm like, man, I think I get what this is all about. And it's a load of crap.
No way you can get consent to bring someone here, so don't fucking do it, right? And if you're going to try to say something really fucking retarded like, well, since you don't exist, you don't have a consent status, and therefore we don't have to get consent, this really isn't any different from saying, oh, well, the girl's unconscious, so I can't get her consent to have sex with her, so therefore it's...
No, that's not the same thing. The girl that's unconscious exists. She exists. Her state is just that she's unconscious. What you're comparing is you are literally trying to compare the state of existing or non-existing in this case, not even existing yet, to the state of being unconscious. That is so dumb. That is so stupid. Like, what in the world, man? That is a very special kind of special. That is a very special kind of special. Oh, man. All right.
It's okay because I can't. There's no way to even ask for the consent, right? So, I mean, if you actually think that's a good argument against what I've said, right?
Your argument is hogwash, son. Your argument is dumb.
You're absolutely retarded. Your brain, it's very childish and retarded, right?
You know why that's offensive? You know why calling everyone that is offensive is because those special people, even they would know. Even they would know your argument makes no sense. It's very dumb what you're just doing here, what you just did. If this guy hated life so much, why couldn't he just take care of business himself, you know? You know? He didn't have to go give a whole big boom buying, one-way trip to an IVF facility.
And before you say, "Ooh, that's ad hominem," I said the word retard.
Being the heaviness of this topic, I'm going to put a game on screen.
I called you a retard, fucker. So it's not ad hominem. Ad hominem is when someone just name calls and that's it. That's what ad hominem is, fuckhead. You people some of you motherfuckers are just too fucking stupid.
We're too dumb to understand his logic.
Anyways,
yeah.
So, yes, the point is obviously you get people's consent to bring them here, so don't do it. It's that fucking simple, right? This is not complicated logic. This is not complicated ethics, okay? So anyways, all right. So I have written some things down here. I tried to kind of order them in a way that makes sense just because I have a lot of things to say and
yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah, so hopefully there's some order to my little recording here. But anyways, so yeah, so the reason I'm, wanting to get the fuck out of this whole life game is basically, I guess it comes down to I'm not interested in being a life addict, right? So I really never wanted to do this life drug. And I remember, like, when I was a kid, people just trying to, my whole life, really, people have always been trying to push this life drug onto me. People try to push experiences onto me, like, hey, let's, go to a concert or some bullshit. It's always something, and I'm always saying, no, not interested. And, people are, for some reason, like, people just can't fucking take no for an answer, when it comes to this shit. It really isn't any different from, like, kids pushing drugs or smoking on some other kid or whatever. It's not really any different from this, except in this case it's more like fucking heroin. It's a much worse drug. So
the state of living is a drug for this guy. This is so dumb. It almost seems like it could be an op. There's probably some people out there cooking up some sort of, like, is this a deep conspiracy, CIA level conspiracy or whatever. It's actually so dumb. I wouldn't put it past him, because it's like, wow, okay, life is a drug. Okay, all right.
And also, yes, life is a drug. It really is very analogous to a drug. I know some of you assholes are going to get all triggered at me saying that, being negative, about life. But, think about this. If you sit around and do absolutely nothing, like literally nothing, right, you're going to become very miserable pretty quickly, right? And the reason for this is that the default state for you is deprivation, right? And this is how life gets you to chase things, right? And yeah, that includes literally even drinking water, what we would call basic needs, right? Your brain gets you to chase things. That's really what's going on, right? And the shit that, we're chasing really is stupid, right? This whole evolution thing, life thing, is not an intelligent design, you know. When you see innocent creatures,
Being the fact that, like, to live, you have to take care of your basic needs, and then there's other needs on top of that, you know? Is that too hard for you? Like, once again, let's put this in perspective. This guy sounds like he's had a good life. You know, this guy definitely doesn't sound like he's lived in squalor and has to do force, hardcore manual labor, right? No, this guy isn't working in a mine. This guy isn't, digging for coal, mining for cobalt or any of that stuff, okay? This guy doesn't sound like that. No. This guy sounds like he's bored, has nothing to do, has no quality in his life, has no purpose in his life, and completely aimless. And he doesn't know what to do with it. He just gave up. Started huffing his own farts and believing in his own delusions. It's insanity to me.
getting completely fucked by life. I'm not just talking humans, but even animals, right? How the hell can you sit there and call that an intelligent design? It clearly isn't. It's a completely absurd thing to call life an intelligent design. It's clearly not, right? It clearly is just something that happened because it could, right? The circumstances were just right to where it could happen, and it did happen. It's not, evolution isn't really doing anything on purpose, right? It's just evolving. It's just happening. That's it, right? So it's not intelligent, and that's why I use the word stupid a lot in reference to the shit people are chasing, the shit people are doing, and what life is doing. It's stupid. I'm not saying that just because I'm upset about it. I'm saying that because I've thought about it, and I think the word stupid really does apply, okay? I tend not to use language too loosely, so... Okay, so, all this just to say, life itself really is just, it's a big drug addiction, right? It's just chasing absolute nonsense, and I've pretty much seen this since I was a kid. I've pretty much known it since I was a kid. As a kid, I wasn't able to put words to it, but some part of my brain kind of understood it, right? Because I really wasn't very interested in anything. I really didn't want much, and as I've gotten older and older, more aware, I started to realize, like, oh, this is a really nasty game. This life on Earth game is really nasty. It's causing tons and tons of harm. It is a zero-sum game. Is that what it's called? Zero-sum game? Did I say that right? Hopefully I said that right.
I don't know. I'm not the crazy person.
Basically what I'm trying to say is,
it sounds
since the
insane.
default state is deprivation, basically you're being whipped constantly, okay? And the best you can achieve is not being whipped, right? Satisfying your needs and your desires, right? And which again really is just the whip being taken away, right? So as in Mendham, Gary would say, there is no carrot, there's only the whip, okay? It doesn't intuitively make sense when you think about it. Like when I first heard him say shit like that, I totally didn't believe it. I was like, no. Like there's certain things that are just like pleasurable on their own, and but as I thought about, over the week after, the week after I heard him say that, I just started thinking about things, and I started to realize, like, no, it's, there really is no, like, fundamental, like, good, it really is all made of fixing bad things, fixing deprived states and whatnot, it's really interesting, and it's really, unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So anyway, so yeah, zero-sum game, because like I said, the best you can do is clean up messes, and we can't even really do that well. You look around, we're not doing that, so, we, again, another thing Gary would say is, like, you spill the milk and then you clean up a small portion of it and then you pat yourself on the back. It's really, life really truly is completely fucking absurd, right? And to anyone who's, like, aware of these facts, intelligent, whatever, it's the more and more you become aware of this shit, the more miserable life becomes. It's just like, oh fuck, this is really bad, you know. You start to see all the harm, and it's so nasty. Anyways, so
this is just,
and then, you know,
it's just rambling, man. It's just rambling of a guy who thinks like, right? Is it just me? No, it's just flat out rambling. This is crazy, man. It's crazy stuff. Right? So I mean, it's like, all right. It's so dumb. I don't even know how to sum up what I'm hearing right now. I don't know how to break it down and regurgitate it. It is so like, but he sounds like he is very smug, and he really believes in the stuff he's saying here, which is just nonsense. This is someone you would hear on like as a YouTuber debating. This guy sounds like would be like a Destiny Bro level, like a debate bro guy, debating on the purpose of life, if existing is consensual or not. Okay, it's just wild to me, and I'm sure it is to you guys as well. Because I'm sitting over here, I'm like, well, my job is to listen to this and regurgitate and respond, but it's how do you do that when it's just complete insanity? We're only almost 8 minutes in.
Basically, most people just really aren't in any position in life to do much about it, you know, and so basically you're just gonna live life as a slave, really. I mean, people don't like it when I use this word.
Slave.
But that's just the way I see it. I don't know what to say. Like, I
this
really,
guy is
I really
so
do
entitled,
see
dude.
Existence as a kind of slavery.
This guy is so entitled he can't stand
basically. That's really all it is. And so I'm just saying you know, maybe you're not miserable. Okay, fine, whatever. But a lot of people are. Okay, and you know, it's wasted suffering.
He's so miserable.
There's so many people. There's so many creatures, really, I should say, because not just humans that are important. It's, you know, all the other sentient beings on this planet are also just as important. Okay.
Sounds
so
like an
much
anime
wasted
villain,
suffering, right? So much suffering that occurs, and for no, you know, benefit. You know, it's just a complete waste, and it's sickening. It really is sickening. You know, so yeah, okay, so just I'm doing all this explaining, just, you know, for the people who don't get this shit. Like,
okay,
this is all really important shit.
So he wants to blow himself up. He wanted to blow himself up and others because life is miserable, life is sad, life is bad, the whole existence is cruel. You know, everything in nature that is just suffering, right? To live is to suffer. Okay, all right, bro. Tell me about your suffering. Oh, you can't because you're dead now. Tell me about your suffering, right? Oh, I bet your life was so bad. Huh? Dude, this guy's life was not bad. There's no way. There's no way, dude. There's no way at all. The way he sounds like he's been through a couple of universities. You know, he sounds like he has he sounds like he's college educated. Because to get this dumb, you have to be smart. So yeah, tell me about his suffering. Was it the student loans? Was it that? Was he couldn't find a job after he graduated? What's the suffering? Okay. This guy sounds like his mom and dad like live pretty good and do pretty well for themselves. Okay. Was this guy a foster kid? Huh? Was he the outcome of being a foster child? Is it through like the CPS system? Was he that? Did he have to grow up in squalor and go from house to house? Sometimes maybe a dope house or dirt house or flop house, however you want to call it, right? Because his parents were junkies. Did he have to do that? Like, it doesn't seem like this guy understands that even in those horrible situations, people still want to live, because no matter how bad things are, you can't experience any sort of joy without at all if you're just gone. Anyway, this is just dumb.
Okay, what else did I have written down here? I wrote down suicide prevention is people trying to push life on you, and is analogous to peers pressuring you to try drugs. Okay, I kind of already said this, but I didn't say the suicide prevention part. But yeah, suicide prevention really is just that. So people trying to prevent others from killing themselves, especially if the person has like a peaceful way of doing it, right? And you try to prevent them from doing it. You're just pushing life on them, which again is a drug. So you're just pushing drugs on people. So fuck
life
that.
is a drug, people.
Absolute nonsense.
Don't you know?
Another little thing I wrote down, really interesting point that I've not heard anyone else make. It's in regards to mass shooters and mass killings and whatnot.
Why couldn't this guy just go get trans?
I was thinking to myself, there's an organization called the Violence Project. I believe that's what they're called. They have a lot of interesting data on mass shooters.
Tell me, bro. You did the research.
Something interesting they found, really common in mass shooters, is that they have a suicidal crisis before they become before they start thinking about killing people, right? They have some kind of suicidal crisis. This is
Do they now?
fairly common, right? Not all of them, but pretty common. And I was thinking to myself, you really probably would solve. You really would prevent a lot of mass shootings if you gave them the right to a graceful exit, the right to die, right? And I'm not talking about the fake right to die that we have now, okay, which isn't even really a right because other people have to decide for you, so it's not even really a right. And the people that do get it, obviously they have to be like very terminally ill.
I know
all
what this is.
It's not a.
This is an ad for the self-deletion booths. That's what this is. You know what? I'm convinced this is like a psyop to help push the idea that we need self-deletion booths. And I'm sold. I'm sold on it. Yeah, just let people like this just do it. I don't care. I don't care, dude. Because if they're gonna hurt others in the process, then whatever. Okay. I'm messing around.
Right. It's nonsense, right? They've passed it in a very, very, very restricted and minimal way so that they can bullshit people and say, oh, look, we have the right to die, when no, we absolutely fucking don't, okay? And I could get into this whole topic, but I will in a minute. But the main point, back to the mass shooter thing, right? I really do think if we had an actual right to die in the U.S., right? Right to a graceful exit, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you probably would prevent a good chunk of mass shooters. So yeah, interesting little fact, or theory, I should say, whatever. Very likely true though. Okay, yeah, back to the right to die thing, 'cause that's a really important topic.
Right to die. Sounds like an Iron Maiden song.
So what we have now is a fake right to die. It's not at all some kind of human right to die. Absolute nonsense. There's the slippery slope argument where people say like, oh, if we gave everyone the right to a graceful exit, what about the people? What about like people?
Yeah, this guy's a debate, bro.
Or whatever, and it's like, look, I could apply this shit to like
probably a Twitch streamer
too. I could say like, what if people say things that hurt my feelings or say bad things or whatever the fuck, right? I'm just saying you could apply the slippery slope argument to other types of human rights, and you can kind of quickly understand that the price is kind of worth it, right? And then you think about, well, what is the price, right? In the case of right to die, what is the price being paid in these instances where it's abused and misused, right? The price, think about it, is somebody who maybe didn't want to die falls asleep and doesn't wake up, right? That's the big price, quote unquote, price being paid, right? Bullshit. I mean, such nonsense, right? So we're not it's not even really a harm, right? I mean, even if you think it's a harm, fine, okay. But at least understand you're being way too perfectionistic, right? You're being absurdly perfectionistic.
Kinda sounds like
nothing in
Destiny.
this world is perfect, right? So you're basically saying we can't have the right to die until it's literally perfect, which is not.
He's arguing with
all,
himself.
Right? You're not being pragmatic at all. It's a non-argument. It's an absolute fucking
non-argument. This
non-argument.
guy's complete schizo.
So complete bullshit that we don't have a right to die, especially considering the fact that you're brought here without your consent in the first fucking place. The least this fucking goddamn society could do is give you.
But you do kind of have a right to die in a way, even though the law says you don't. What you do behind closed doors and no one else knows, man. If you hate life that much, there's all sorts of ways you can, take care of that problem. You just have to not be a wuss about it. That's it. You need them to codify it into law that, so that like a nurse can give you an injection. That way a doctor can give you an injection and have you kind of like just co-star it. Nah, man. If you want it that bad, if you want to self-delete that bad, figure it out. There's lots of people that figure it out all the time. You can't? That sounds kind of stupid to me.
People a right to a graceful way out, not force them to jump off a goddamn building or shoot themselves in the fucking head or strangle themselves, pretty common method, whatever the fuck. Drink sodium nitrite, I know people think getting shot in the head and drinking sodium nitrite, these methods are considered like nice or better methods or whatever, but they're really not. I mean, getting shot in the head, pretty messy. Also, like, yes, it's easy to put the gun to your head, but like actually pulling the trigger, little scary, I must say. And the sodium nitrite thing, that's become a popular method, obviously. It's not like it's not completely peaceful. It does make your stomach feel pretty shitty, and I'm just saying it causes some pretty.
That's the problem. This guy can't do it himself. This guy was not able and not willing to do it himself because it was going to be painful. It was going to be uncomfortable. Well, I mean, he did in a way. Right? He blew up the car. He blew up the car, right? He wanted to go out with a bang, right? Oh, my God. He had to just throw others in there, right? People like this are just sickening to me. They think they're so smart. They think they're so intelligent. You can't talk them out of this, right? You're not going to be able to win any conversation with him or any debate because he knows it all. He's right. He made up his mind a while back, and you're not getting through to him. If you were to try to reason with this guy, it's just not working, okay? The guy shadow boxes himself all the time with these things, and he thinks he's winning. And he's a person that the thing he's wanting to do, it'd be one thing if it was just targeting him, but no, it's going to be targeting him and others. That's where it becomes a pretty big problem, where it's like, whoa, guy. Don't be a hero, man. Don't be a hero, buddy. Okay? All right? You know what? If you want to take care of yourself, whatever, the world's going to have one less asshole like you around. Okay. Maybe your mom and dad will cry for you at your funeral, but if you want to target others, well, I really hope hell exists. And I hope we all get to take turns going down there to kick your ass. I hope so. I hope that's how that works. Or maybe you just get sodomized by Satan. I don't know. But whatever it is. By the way, hey, if you like this video, share it around because I'm pretty sure it's going to be restricted because of the content. I don't think having this cute little video game on here is going to disguise that. Anyway, let's continue.
kind of gross symptoms. So yeah, fuck these assholes that would say like, oh, you can just shoot yourself, you do have a right to die. I've heard people say shit like this. It's such a myopic fucking view. It's so shitty. So insensitive. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh God. Okay. What else? Yeah, so I guess maybe I should talk a bit about IVF. I mean, obviously I'm very against it. It's extremely wrong. I mean, these are people who are having kids after they've sat there and thought about it. How much more stupid can it get? I don't know. I guess you can make the argument like, well, at least they're thinking about it and at least they're planning it and all that. It's like, yeah, that is something, I guess, but at the same time, again, you still can't get their goddamn consent, so it's you're not getting around that argument, not rationally. So.
Oh my God, this is so stupid. This is so dumb. He's like, think about all the babies that are graped into existence. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to prevent people from being born. Man, this guy hates life so much. This guy hates babies, dude. This guy's evil. This guy's pure fucking evil. He's pure scum, dude. All right.
Basically, I'm anti-life, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we got
IVF
that.
is like kind of the epitome of pro-life ideology, right? So yeah, fuck IVF clinics.
This guy's a Redditor. Hardcore. He's a Redditor for sure.
Frankly,
he's a Redditor. He's a Twitch streamer. Probably donates.
Is not really
probably donated
the
Destiny.
I know, because I know people are gonna say like, oh, they haven't even thought about what they're doing or whatever.
He's definitely not a fan of baby metal.
Yes, that's sad and all, but like,
that's
again,
his problem.
If a guy is going around raping people and is like actually retarded and doesn't understand what he's doing, right? Does that mean you don't punish him still, or you don't like lock him up still or something? No, it doesn't mean that. You still have to take action, right? You still have to do something about it. So
what? What? It's not the same thing. Being born, someone being born, a baby being born is not the same. Is not comparable at all to women being raped by a literal retard. Okay, that's not the same thing. It's just not. That's not. It's like, what are you talking about? You are insane. Yeah, this is and you couldn't even argue with this guy. I guarantee you, because you're arguing with an insane person, and I guarantee you, he had a Reddit profile, probably like 5 of them. Okay, he probably argues with himself on Reddit and others. Right, this guy probably does that. He probably argues in YouTube comments and in Twitch chat rooms about this stuff. Okay, so I don't even know anything about this guy or his internet history, but I guarantee you he's been a debate bro dude about this very topic, about how to live is to suffer, and if you're existing, if you didn't consent, you're essentially living a constant grape existence, because you didn't give consent to be born. They just forced you out. Wow. This is insane, dude.
So it's just, unfortunately, intent. Like, I do care about intent, but unfortunately, in reality, it doesn't mean a whole lot, I want it to mean a lot. I used to believe it was everything, but in the last few years, I kind of started to realize, like, no, unfortunately, intent it means so little. And so even if you're causing harm and you don't know that you're causing harm, you still have to be dealt with. You know what I mean? So just an unfortunate, reality. Anyways, let's see. What the hell else did I write down? Yeah, I wrote down, like, these people, like, when they push life on you, like, especially when you're like a suicidal person, and they start pushing life on you, it's like the games these fucking people are trying to push on you, these life games you're trying to push, aren't
this guy
even
talked to a
good
therapist
games,
before.
right? It's just like, oh, consume, be a fucking consumer, right? Pay for the factory farms to rape the fucking animals. You know, these are the fucking games we're playing as humans. It's sickening. Fuck these games. Why the fuck would I want to play these fucking games? It's absolutely absurd.
So another problem with existing is the factory farms. Well, yeah, people need to be fed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to need a lot of meat and stuff. I know those things are not ideal, and sure, yeah, the animals suffer. That is what it is. I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, you kind of mentioned it earlier. Everything in this life, from the animals, all the animals pretty much feed off each other for existence. The ones who don't feed off other animals feed off plants, which are other living organisms. Everything is consuming something else for sustenance, to live, to thrive. And we just have another way of doing that. That's, of course, very ugly, very, very ugly. Maybe it'd be better if everyone had their own farm and stuff, and sure, maybe, yeah, but we're not going back to that. Anyway.
Nobody intelligent would want to play these stupid fucking games. I feel like I'm surrounded by fucking ghouls. Okay, what else? I wrote down, I already said this, but I kind of wrote it in a kind of a nice way, so I'm gonna read it even though I've already said this. I said, children cannot consent to being born, therefore you do not have consent. The act of bringing someone into this world is a non-consensual act and is reminiscent of rape. Now, in my mind, I really strongly consider it rape. I know some people are going to have an issue with me calling it that, so the way I worded it is very precise. I said it's reminiscent of rape, meaning
I think people are going to have a problem with that too.
Okay, and the people that are doing it. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. People are going to have a problem with that one as
specific. Well. So
wait, hold on.
Let's see.
Hold on. There's going to be people on Reddit. They'll be like, "Well, actually, he has a point," and the ones who say that, the FBI should be following them because they might be the next Looney Tune to get activated.
I wrote down, these topics are too important for me to accept people ignoring them. And I said, I don't actually believe people are ignoring them. I think people who have control over the internet are censoring these topics by shadow banning people who talk about them. And then, of course, also, all the algorithms that are in control now that are used to kind of manipulate what people see, what, kind of what they think. I think it's pretty effective. I won't say it's like crazy effective. I don't think people are like completely retarded and like incapable of knowing when they're being kind of manipulated and fucked with. People kind of have an idea of when they're being fucked with, and they kind of resist it. And so, but I'm just saying clearly it does work to some extent, There's clearly a lot of like coercion going on. Trying to get people to make babies and have more kids and shit. There's a lot of that going on. And,
he really hates babies.
A decent chunk of people their brains do, it works for them, basically. It works on them, But there's still a lot of people, I think, that are saying like, nah, no, fuck this. I'm not having kids. This is stupid, Even with all, in the last few years, all this manipulation going.
Manipulation. We're hardwired to want to have kids. I don't know if you realize that. This guy does not realize that. This guy, of course, is a grade A moron.
On the internet and all the censorship going on, in the last few years, it's become so fucking extreme.
This guy
YouTube
was probably
comments,
like,
for example, you can't say fucking anything now in YouTube comments. It's so goddamn bad.
You know what?
If it isn't,
I'm surprised his argument isn't like, oh, we got reduced to carbon. I'm waiting for that to come out.
In line with their narrative, it just gets. They aren't even shadow banning. Like they just straight up fucking remove comments. Like it's so wild. They do shadow ban.
He's a debate guy on Reddit.
They also often just straight up remove your comment and they don't even try to hide it from you. Like it's wild. Anyways, so the censorship, all this stuff really has got me quite upset. I really must say that how badly they fucked the internet it's really upsetting because the internet really is important for people to communicate and whatnot. Get together, form. I'm just saying, like, people who have similar beliefs obviously are going to use the internet to try to come together, and they're fucking with that, and that's really upsetting to me. So anyways, yeah. I know there's assholes that are gonna be like, "Oh, stop being online so much." It's like, dude, fuck you. The internet is really important. Quit pretending it's not. Quit pretending like it's nothing. It's such bullshit. Let's see. Okay, that's about all I wrote down. So,
That's all he wrote down.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so now you're going to spend the next 10 minutes freeballing it? Let's not do that, man. Come on.
Fuck pro-lifers. Fuck pro-life ideology. There's absolutely no rational reason to be pro-life. It's a zero-sum game.
There's no reason to be pro-life. There's no reason to want to continue to exist. Okay. Like I said, he got this way because of his big brain overthinking of things. That's how you get this stupid.
It only causes harm. It's all it's.
You know the movie Idiocracy? Yeah. It's kind of like that, but worse. Instead of the one couple that's a redneck and the one couple that's too smart to have kids, pretty much, because they overthink things and whatever. This guy's overthinking things to the point to where he doesn't even want to live anymore and doesn't want other people to live. He doesn't want life to thrive. Every time he sees people, he's like, I hate them. When he sees babies, he's like, oh, he can't stand it.
It's capable of producing is harm. It can't produce anything objectively good. It's never going to do that. Fuck transhumanism. Crazy shit. Absolute nonsense. Yeah, so I guess I would be considered a pro-mortalist.
Pro-mortalist.
I don't like that word, that name, I guess, pro-mortalist, because for people that don't think too deeply about it, they're going to get the impression that, that means I'm pro-dying, and...
Well, you are.
That's not exactly the case. I understand, obviously, there's many ways to die that are very bad and painful, so that's pretty negative and shitty, obviously. I'm pro-non-existence is what I am, right? So that is what pro-mortalism is, but obviously I'm just saying pro-mortalism can...
Are there other people in his group, or is it just him?
Make people think that you're
is it like a fan club after school
who wants to cause death and destruction and whatnot, and it's no, that's not the case. I know what you're gonna think, how ironic, because I'm causing destruction and possibly death, and it's I'm only doing this because I feel like it's what I have to do to...
From my understand, only one person died, and it was him. There were people that were injured. I hope that's the case. I hope that no one else has lost their life because of this jerk, this asshole. Okay. This Looney Tune got activated because of some crazy thoughts, and yeah, he's a nutcase.
To get people's fucking attention and to let the world know, yes, I'm fucking serious about this shit. You have to take this seriously. Fuck you, because I can't go on the internet and talk about this shit anymore. I can't find people anymore on the fucking internet because they've completely goddamn censored it. So I really feel like I'm being severely fucked with personally.
You can't find people on Facebook.
Ways.
Tell them that life sucks.
Not having the right to a graceful
just be like an emo kid, dude.
Being completely censored and manipulated by the internet. I mean, the manipulation doesn't really work on me, but the censoring obviously does. They're actually pretty hard to get around, especially with all the fucking AI shit now being used to censor people, right? So now...
What? You mean this guy was so bad, such a nutcase, he got even censored on places like Reddit? You mean even on Reddit, you can't be like, oh man, life sucks, man. To live is to exist is to be the worst thing ever. We're just a blight on the earth. Humanity is toxic. Human beings existing is a cancer on the earth, and we must eradicate ourselves and all this stuff. You can't say that stuff on Reddit, because that sounds like something I'd read on Reddit.
you can't even like sneakily make comments anymore because AI understands context, so like it's really fucking bad now. The censorship is really bad in the last few years, so it's very,
Maybe that's
very
a good
upsetting to
thing.
me.
Maybe you should be
it really
censored.
fucks with me. I hate it.
I love it.
I think even
You
like
hate it. I
I
love
think
it.
Elon Musk banned the words like anti-natalism on Twitter, and what else? Well, that's the main one, I guess, right? Anti-natalism.
Anti
So yeah, fuck.
babies?
I mean, fuck Twitter. It's a shithole now, I guess. But I never really used it in the first place. But
You probably
anyways,
use Blue Sky.
Yeah. So that's basically it. I genuinely feel like it takes like basically these topics are they're way too fucking important for it to be censored and ignored, and like they need to be put on blast. Like people need to be thinking and talking about these issues because they really are big issues. And before you say, "Oh, it's just your life that's shitty,"
It is just your life that's shitty.
why you care
Your
so
life
much.
isn't even that shitty.
No,
Your life isn't even that shitty, dude. Every time my kids complain about doing chores, I'm like, man, right now the laptop you use is made possible because there's kids that mine for cobalt in mines. And they'll be like, what? I'm like, yeah. Like the things you use, the phone you use, the shoes you wear, the clothes you wear, guess what? It's made possible by literal slave labor. So why don't you stop complaining and get a grip, dude? Like your life is bad. Your life is bad but you don't like the fact that you have to do things, that things people think that there's some suffering involved. Get over yourself, man. I guess you did.
This entire recording explaining to you like objectively why life is bad, and it's causing harm, and so it's not just about me. It's pretty clear that I care about all sentient life, right?
Man,
all the feelings going on Earth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just complete bullshit. I mean, that's like the main reason why I feel like shit all the time is because I'm aware of all the harm occurring to other fucking sentient beings. All the animals being raped in farms, and even by nature itself.
But not
obviously
being raped in farms, but being killed in
nature
farms.
Isn't nice. What it's doing isn't nice, obviously, and also I'll make this clear. Like, yes, I'm a vegan, but
of course he's a vegan.
I understand that the
He's
harm
vegan
being caused
gains.
by nature is way larger than anything humans are doing, right? I'm upset about the factory farm shit just
hardcore.
because I feel like
wait, I didn't know. That's it. Dude, that's the best part of it. He's a freaking vegan. Of course he's a vegan. Proof positive that vegans are terrorists. Oh, man. I bet you so much he subscribed to Vegan Gains Patreon if he has one. I have no idea. I guarantee you he's like a Vegan Gains super fan, okay? All right. This was great. That was even better. Okay. Wow, this guy is Looney Tunes. He's crazy. He's insane. If you think like this, check yourself into a psych ward. I know they don't really exist anymore, so why don't you just like stay in a shed and never come out? Or,
really know better. Like we have the ability to recognize harm, and we're just completely squandering it, and then we consume it in such disgusting quantities and in such disgusting ways. I mean, it's just so, it's just so sickening in every way. Everything about meat eating and not just meat, but really, all the animal products too,
Of course.
Anyways,
he's a hippie. These terror hippies, dude.
What was I saying? Okay, so...
Freaking terror hippies.
Okay, I think this explains it pretty well. I think anyone who listens to this has a pretty good idea now of why.
Yeah, you're some delusional terror hippie, dude.
I've done this and why I do believe it's justified, and I'm not getting off on it. I won't even be alive to witness it. So this isn't like me getting off on anything. You can't sit there and be like, oh, he's getting off on this. He wants attention or whatever. I mean, yes, I want attention, but it's not for me personally. Okay, it's for objectively important fucking causes. Okay.
None of these causes are important.
So
they're so boring. I'm like, why?
I think it'll be pretty clear to anyone listening that like
What's
I'm
the
doing
point
this
of
because I
universities
care,
if they produce
because
this?
I can see how important these issues are. And,
No.
and the
Actually, you
fact
know what?
that
This is
they're
a good
being
argument to like shut
censored
down
by
YouTube
this,
debates. This is so
ghoulish
stupid.
society that we live in, you know, that just
No.
wants to keep this system running. And so obviously it has to, obviously people can't be operating in some kind of honest mode. Their brain can't be operating in truth or honest mode, because if it were, they would see how pointless it all is and they wouldn't continue this stupid system, right? So the system itself, the only way it can continue running is to get people to not see the truth, to hide the truth from them, basically, right?
Oh.
To manipulate them, to be consumers and all this shit, right?
But okay, to be consumers in like the material world is one thing, but there's things that are hardwired in us, like the reason why we exist and the reason why we want to keep existing. We want to keep existing, okay? For the same reason other animals want to as well. It's kind of like in them. It's innate. It's something you don't really think about often, all right? You don't have to think about it because there's things that just so happen to happen that you don't even have to think about. And you don't even have to think about why they happen or what the purpose is. Like the fact that just biology, for the most part, women are attracted to men. Men are, for the most part, attracted to women. And it just takes care of itself. For the most part, because the way we're hardwired with DNA and all that, you don't have to worry. It kind of takes care of itself. People are going to bang. Babies are going to get born. And that's it. And it keeps on going. And you do things to protect the babies. You do things to protect the mother. It just, and it carries on.
Right. That's literally what it has to do to continue existing, right? It has to lie to you and push lies onto you, and push addictions on you and whatnot. So, anyways, okay. So, I think this is good. I know it's very rambly.
Is it good?
I'm sorry. I'm just
You're apologizing now?
I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. I think it's...
You waste my time with this.
A decent explanation.
This video is not even be monetizable.
It's all very rational. And one more thing I want to add.
Kept on saying grape.
Because I know there's going to be like these assholes that like are like, oh, well, it's all about his feelings and whatnot. Like, yes, obviously.
I don't care about your feelings.
This is strong. I feel strongly about these things. Yes. Just
I think your
because someone
feelings
has
are stupid.
feelings about something does not make it irrational, right? Obviously, the feelings are just your brain's way of making you aware of some computation it's done, right? So your brain does some computation, and then it, based on
this
the
guy
result,
overthinks way too much.
you see
man.
the outcome, the result, as a feeling, right? And now then, yes, obviously it's also important to then apply logic. So sit there and actively think about why you're feeling the way you're feeling, right? To make sure that it makes sense, right? And I've clearly done that, right? I've clearly sat here and thought a lot about my feelings and why I feel the way I do and whatnot. And so you really can't say like, oh, well, anyway, I'm just saying these assholes that say like, they don't, I guess people don't say this, but I can tell like a lot of people think this way. Like they don't like people who feel strongly about things. And it's just, fuck you.
You feel strongly about something that's completely stupid and just dumb.
Fuck you. Such bullshit, you know. Yeah, okay. Anyways. I think that's good. I think that's enough. A little add-on bit here regarding pro-mortalism. Just, yeah, something I think is...
Oh, there's an addendum to this whole note.
A really important argument, I guess, to make in regards to pro-mortalism for all the assholes that try to make it out to be evil or some bullshit like that, is that we're not the ones making death happen at all, right? All of
You just literally did.
pro-mortalist is saying is like, hey, let's make the death thing happen sooner rather than later in life, right? We're just changing the date at which it happens. That's all we're trying to do, right? But you recognize that, you know, once you exist, death is a guarantee, right? It's gonna happen. So the pro-mortalist isn't making a death happen. That's a bullshit way to think about it. That's a dishonest and untruthful way to think about it, right? The truth is the parents, are the ones making the death happen, right? They're the ones making you exist in the first place, which then guarantees a death.
So don't blame him. If anyone died in this his little act of whatever, don't blame him. Blame your parents for making you even exist. This guy is a complete asshole, dude. This guy is one of those assholes that just need to be dragged and dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Minecraft and maybe in this game, Final Fantasy Tactics. Okay, just like it is it's bonkers. Man, these guys used to be edgy goth kids, and it was a phase, and they grew out of it. Now, they just stay in it. They become vegans. All right. Well, hey, vegan terrorists. I did not have that. I was not expecting that. Okay. Well, that's rich.
Okay. So parents are the real killers here. Okay. They're the real ones imposing harm and suffering and some kind of death process onto people. All a pro-moralist is saying is
they brought life into it. You bring death. I mean, that's what you do.
Hey, let's make it happen sooner rather than later, so that way you experience less of life's bullshit, right? Less of this silly fucking zero-sum game, right? So, yeah.
I bet this guy was a real life of the party, every party he went to, right? It wasn't a complete buzzkill.
Important argument, to
massive negative Nancy, Debbie Downer over
try
here.
To make pro-moralism out to be evil or some bullshit like that. It's these people are just, if they hear this argument and they still disagree, they're being dishonest, basically. Because
he has the perfect argument, huh?
Because again, all this shit is really simple to understand.
All right, there you have it. All 30 minutes of it. What do I think? Well, complete hogwash. The ramblings of an idiot, of an absolute moron, a grade A moron that probably has a university degree. He probably has. Yeah, I'll probably guess maybe a a bachelor's. He probably has a bachelor's. Probably. He definitely subscribed to Vegan Gains and Destiny. He liked the debate bro stuff. He's a guy who's very headstrong about his opinions. Like, you're not going to get to him. You're not going to be able to reach him or change his mind. No, because he's right. You're wrong, no matter what it is. Alrighty. Well, there you have it. Like I said, if you like this sort of commentary, let me know in the comment section. The purpose of the game wasn't really for much of anything. It was just to have it there. But yeah, we were all paying attention to that rambling. Anyway, with that said, you take it easy and don't trust any vegans, apparently, okay?